The Bitcoin price makes confident moves above 100K today, as BlackRock gives us permission to pump to finish out the year by officially recommending a 2% allocation of Bitcoin to their customer base, who holds over $10 trillion in assets. We do the math on where that could theoretically take the price, and it's wild. We also take a look at some data that once again suggests we are still early in this cycle. Plus, Tom Lee makes a measured prediction of $250,000 Bitcoin in 2025. And Trump adds more fuel to the strategic reserve fire. The Bitcoin Santa rally is coming to town. Have you been good this year? The Bitcoin price has begun moving more confidently above 100K over the last few days, sparking hope that the famed Santa rally is upon us. And leading the way is good old St. Larry, as BlackRock put out an official recommendation of a 2% allocation to Bitcoin to their over $10 trillion customer base. So what could this 2% allocation mean for the Bitcoin price? More on that later. But first, to give you an idea of what the Santa rally can do, at this time 4 years ago, the Bitcoin price bounced around the $18,000 level for the first half of December of 2020. By Christmas of 2020, the price climbed to 25K, and it ended up closing the year around 29K. Now, obviously, past performance isn't necessarily indicative of future performance, but there are several metrics that lead me to believe we are still quite early in this Bitcoin bull cycle. One metric, which we talked about earlier this week, is the MVRV ratio, which this chart shows in the orange next to the Bitcoin price in black. Historically, at cycle tops, Bitcoin's MVRV ratio reaches the red band at the top. As you can see at today's prices, we're not even halfway there yet. The Bitcoin price still needs to more than double from here to start to look like we're nearing a top. There's also this halving progress chart from the Rational Root, which shows us where we are today at about 16% through the current halving cycle, which is roughly every 4 years, compared to previous cycles at the same point. As you can see, the majority of the price moves upward occur in the months following the orange band on the chart. So it looks like we haven't even seen the fireworks yet. And Tom Lee from Fundstrat agrees. Here he is on CNBC yesterday with his 2025 prediction for Bitcoin.
Tom, it just brings me back to you, the idea that how much of what we're seeing, maybe even a little bit today, is there's been such a regulatory overhang on a lot of these names under the current administration. Now you have a new FTC chairperson. Is that playing a role in any respect to this? Because Dan Ives put out a note today, said Christmas comes early with the new head of the FTC for tech.
It's probably the best way to sort of measure this is what Bitcoin's doing, because Bitcoin faced enormous regulatory burdens over the last few years, and now we have a White House that's embracing digital assets, a new SEC chairman, FTC chairman, a new Commerce Secretary. I think these are actually being viewed as pro-business, reviving animal spirits, but I think a good proxy is watching Bitcoin.
All right, now I'm going to have to pin you to a target again on Bitcoin, because, I mean, you've been among the most optimistic and outspoken about it for years, to be quite honest. So here we are, above 100,000. What's a legit target for 2025 for Bitcoin?
We think it's going to follow a similar halving cycle that we've seen in the past. That would imply something around 250,000 for Bitcoin in 2025. And on top of that, we have a Trump put, because Bitcoin is potentially a strategic reserve asset for the U.S. government.
So Tom Lee's 250K in 2025 aligns very well with the charts we looked at earlier and is not an outlandish prediction by any means. Where it gets interesting, though, is his last comment about the Trump put. This thing clearly has the potential to completely blow the 250K prediction out of the water if Trump does indeed go forward with a U.S. strategic stockpile of Bitcoin. Well, Trump rang the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange this morning after being announced as Times Person of the Year, and he was asked directly about the strategic reserve by Jim Cramer.
Your embracing of crypto, very different from the previous administration. Strategic petroleum reserve like for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, and not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head. We're going to be ahead of AI. We're going to be way ahead of AI, and we've got to produce tremendous amounts of electricity, you know that.
So even if the odds of him actually following through with it are slim, he's definitely not ruling it out, even suggesting he will be doing something great with crypto and underlining the importance of the US gaining an advantage over other countries. Definitely bullish. And states are already getting set to front-run a national reserve, as State Rep Giovanni Caprioni has officially filed for a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the state of Texas. Chairman Caprioni also chairs the Texas Pensions, Investments, and Financial Services Committee, giving this bill some serious momentum. Notably, the bill states that no taxpayer funds will be used to purchase the Bitcoin. Also of note is in my home country of Canada, Vancouver City Council has passed a motion to explore integrating Bitcoin into city finances. The mayor of Vancouver, Ken Sim, put forth the motion and seems to be 100% orange-pilled. Here's a short clip of him on Natalie Burnell's Coin Stories podcast.
Obviously, there's something going on here. And then when you learn more about Bitcoin, you realize, wait a sec, it's decentralized. No person, company, or country controls it. It really doesn't care what other people do. It can't be manipulated, and it's finite. It's like literally, I think it's the greatest invention ever in human history.
The Vancouver City Council meeting leading up to the vote was flooded with passionate Bitcoiners speaking to convince the council to vote in favor. Anil Patel, an incredible Bitcoin educator and resident of Vancouver, gave this amazing 3-minute presentation that I think must have resonated.
Good afternoon, Mayor Sim, Chair, and councillors. My name is Anil Patel. I am a resident of Vancouver, and I am in favor of Motion 3. I'm here because Vancouverites cannot save in dollars due to currency debasement, a problem that extends to families, businesses, charities, and municipalities. When currency fails to preserve its value, people are forced to save in other scarce assets. Hence, the price of Canadian houses tracks the supply of Canadian dollars. Bitcoin represents the discovery of digital scarcity, a solution to a computer science problem more than 50 years in the making. On the left, you will see Bitcoin's predetermined supply schedule, and on the right, the price of one Bitcoin denominated in Canadian dollars. So respectfully, Bitcoin is achieving what no politician can. It's solving housing affordability to those who denominate prices in it. No revolution required. It's demonetizing real estate or draining the monetary premium that has nested in that asset class. In short, there is no preserving purchasing power without Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been the best performing asset class 11 of the past 14 years. It has regulatory clarity from the CRA, the BCSC, and is even a required module to undertake the CFA Level 1 exam. Every fiduciary has a responsibility to understand it. Now, the most common criticism levied against Bitcoin is its short-term volatility. I'd like to read a quote from Fidelity's Digital Assets Group. When evaluating Bitcoin's historical performance in a portfolio, it is most intellectually honest to use multiples of 4-year timeframes, end quote. That's what this chart depicts. It's Bitcoin's 4-year moving average in log scale. What you'll realize, it's not boom and busts. It's an adoption curve, a series of S-curves. So, nation states are mining, holding, and buying Bitcoin. Pension funds and insurance giants are allocating to Bitcoin. Public and private enterprises are moving their treasuries onto a Bitcoin standard. And according to public financial disclosures, 2 members of City Council currently own Bitcoin. I'd like to end with a prediction, and that is those speaking against this motion will not be able to articulate any original criticisms that have not already been thoroughly debunked. As the saying goes, there are no well-informed Bitcoin critics. Hence, it is prudent for the City of Vancouver to consider Bitcoin as part of its ongoing Treasury strategy should a supportive provincial and federal government emerge. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Anil.
And this is happening all over the world, folks, as late last week, Russian State Duma Deputy Anton Katchev put forward a demand for the country to create a national strategic Bitcoin reserve. It seems all eyes are on Bitcoin leading up to the holiday season, so now is a great time to grab some as an early Christmas present to your future self. Visit swan.com or download the app by searching for Swan Bitcoin in the App Store. Swan has the fastest and easiest onboarding experience in the industry. You go from sign up to buying Bitcoin in minutes. Plus, you get your first $10,000 in Bitcoin purchases with 0 fees. Visit swan.com and front run the Santa rally today. Okay, to finish up, I thought it would be fun to revisit BlackRock's official recommendation of a 2% portfolio allocation to Bitcoin. As we see in this chart, only 0.2% of the estimated $900 trillion of wealth in the world is held in Bitcoin. If the average portfolio was to contain 2% Bitcoin, that would mean Bitcoin would be an $18 trillion asset, which would mean a Bitcoin price of $857,000 per coin. So I'll leave you with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video and share it with your friends and family as an early Christmas present. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more high signal Bitcoin content. Thanks for watching, and remember, TikTok next block.